This is the Fenyang, a Tier 6 Pan-Asian destroyer. It's available in the store in the Colors of Fall bundles, or you can buy it outright for 12,500 doubloons. And the ship has deep water torpedoes, and I think a lot of people are going to want to set this up as a gunboat. So what I have found is the guns are not really all that potent, at least for me anyway. So I'm going to show you my setup of the ship and the commander with a torpedo setup and a gunboat setup. And go ahead and let me know if you have a much better gunboat setup than I have. So first up is Deng Schichang, which is the torpedo setup for the boat. And base trait is Quantum of Solace, which improves destroyer detectability and the torpedo damage. And then we went with a full concealment build here with Eric Bay Shifty and Jersey Swirsky hide and seek, and you will get about 4.8 kilometers maximum concealment here with the setup. Subsurface venture is the first skill, and torpedo speed is improved, as is the launcher reload time. But you do take a hit on the main battery reload time. Look at me now, improves the sea detectability range, and this is the maximum detectability you will get with the Fenyang. And then here we're going with perceptive, so we can get a good idea of where the closest enemy ship is, but it also improves the incoming damage to your destroyer and a torpedo acquisition range. Then we went with smoke on the water, which improves the smoke screen dispersion time and deployment time. And unstoppable is the legendary skill, which allows for reduced mobility with a disabled engine and or rudder, and the engine repair time is improved by 10%. Special effect is the damage control party cooldown time, which is improved by 50% when you're within 6 kilometers of an enemy ship. That's a legendary rank 3, and going up to legendary rank 4 improves that distance to the enemy ship up to 7.5 kilometers. So that's it for the torpedo build. Let's go to the gunboat build, and that is Sa Zhenbing, and I probably didn't pronounce him right, sorry about that. His base trait is tin opener, and this improves the minimum ricochet angle of your destroyer's armor piercing shells. So you really want to build up for armor piercing here to get the most out of the base trait. And Tangurin Stabber improves the destroyer's armor piercing shell penetration multiplier. So we got both of those going, which this is how I'm looking to build into the armor piercing shell potential on the Fenyang. And Vincent Mordoff, I went with a quicker main battery reload time. Then we went with Observant Rage for the destroyer main battery reload time and torpedo acquisition range, but you do take a little bit of a hit on the rudder shift time. And we just blew off the concealment here. We went with Mortar, which improves the destroyer main battery armor piercing shell damage, HE shell damage, and semi-armor piercing shell damage if you happen to have that on your destroyer. And the destroyer detectability takes another hit here at another 4%. Instead of perceptive, we're really going for it here on the gunboat build, and we have reaching out, and this improves the destroyer main battery reload time and its range. We did stick with smoke on the water and unstoppable here for the destroyer setup. I'm always going to select unstoppable for the legendary skill for a destroyer commander, and that's how I've got the two commanders set up, and I have personally gotten similar results, so that's why I'm showing both. I don't really get that big of a benefit out of the guns, so that's why the torpedo setup is good for me personally, and I'm going to show highlights of both captains, both commanders in the highlights. As far as the upgrades, we went with Aiming Systems Mod 1, which improves the main battery dispersion, torpedo launcher traverse speed as well. We don't have secondaries on the boat. Propulsion Mod 2 is the second upgrade, and That improves the time taken to reach full power. Then we went with Concealment System Mod 1, improves the detectability range, and the incoming fire dispersion is also improved. That doubles up on your fully upgraded camo or skin. Ammunition, high explosive shells, armor-piercing shells, and deep water torpedoes, which we'll get into in a bit. Damage control party, duration is 5 seconds, reloads every 40 seconds, and those consumables are unlimited. 2 smoke generator consumables, duration is about 30 seconds. Dispersion time is 131 seconds, and the reload time is 240 seconds. Engine boost consumables, this will temporarily boost the speed of your destroyer by 8% for 2 minutes. Reloads every 3 minutes, and there's 2 of those consumables. And you have a couple defensive AA fire consumables here, and not running any boosters, but that could change depending on the match. Ship does come with a Type 9 Premium Permanent Camouflage, C detectability range, and incoming fire dispersion is 4.5% respectively. Survivability hit points is 19,200. Armor is non-existent. Artillery, you have 4 turrets with 2 guns each, so you've got 8 guns on the boat. Firing range is 11.2 kilometers here with the gunboat build. Reload time is 4.8 seconds. Traverse time is 11.3 seconds. Maximum HE shell damage is 1695, and maximum armor piercing is 2149. And the torpedoes, you have 1 launcher, 1 quad launcher, and those are deep water torpedoes. Reload here with the gunboat build is 50 seconds. It's like 44 seconds or so with the torpedo build. Maximum damage is 23,767. So you're getting Shimakaze type numbers here. Range is awesome. It's 12 kilometers and 67 knot speed here with the gunboat build. It's over 70 knots with the torpedo build. AA defenses, you will probably knock a lot of aircraft out of the sky with the Fenyang. Maneuverability, 33 knots, 3/4 of a kilometer turning circle radius, and a 5-second rudder shift time. Concealment, 5.9 kilometers here with the gunboat build, and it is 4.8 kilometers with the torpedo build with all those concealment settings built in. And detectability range by air is 3.1 kilometers, and it's 2.1 kilometers while firing in the smoke. Whatever you do, do not get hit. Overview. The ship is tough. It's an above average HP base rating, and it is hidden. Good concealment means that you can get closer to enemies before being detected, and rapid reload, above average torpedo reload speed, and that is true even with the gunboat build here. So then the Fenyang is an Akizuki class destroyer that was built for the Imperial Japanese Navy, and in 1947 she was transferred to the Republic of China Navy. She was armed with dual-purpose gun mounts with a very high rate of fire. Entered service in 1945, and there were 13 ships in the series. All right, well, that's it for the setup of the ship and both of the commanders. So let's go out in a standard match and check out some highlights. All right, so this part of the replay is with the torpedo build. You can see we have the Atlantico sized up. We are being spotted by the aircraft from the aircraft carrier, but I really don't think that translates to allowing the other ships to see us. Otherwise, we would have all these ships targeting us, and there is a lucky turn on our part where we barely evade that torpedo from the aircraft carrier. There we get a lucky hit. I think that's on the Atlantico. 16,000 damage right off the bat. And all these battleships here in this match are pretty good, except for the last one you're going to see, are pretty good at turning, zigzagging as it were, just like you see in the movies, to evade these torpedoes. So there, I took a shot at the Nagato. I'm being very mindful to stay out of the detection range of the Atlantico. If his secondaries get going, I will be in big trouble. And there it looks like he just got rocked with some torpedo hits from my teammate in the aircraft carrier, and here he's really getting obliterated by my teammate's battleship play, I think. Yeah, so there is the Nagato, and it looks like I'm going to have to cozy up to the island and let the torpedoes go. That Atlantico is not going to be around much longer. And yeah, he is gone. Now I'm being spotted by the aircraft carrier player, and this looks good. If the Nagato keeps going, those torpedoes should hit him. And we also have the Iowa, not the Atlantico, the Iowa lined up here. And the Nagato is got some pretty good rudders, it looks like, because he is evading those torpedoes. Right at the last minute he turned and evaded those torpedoes. But he's not really going to be around much longer. And there are some more torpedoes coming from the aircraft carrier player on the red team, and taking another shot at the Iowa. We're coming around here to close up on the Iowa. While we're taking a look at where the Gajah-Mada is, we are going to open up on him eventually. And yeah, don't have to worry about his torpedoes. It's one destroyer per side, so with all the battleships per side, this should be a field day for the destroyers. But not really. We're not really doing too well at hitting these battleships because they're just zigzagging so much and just moving around so much. It's hard to get a fix on anybody. If you get close enough to get a fix, you're going to be seen, and that's not going to go too well. So here, those torpedoes were looking great for a while, but now the Iowa is turning, and we don't have a shot of getting a hit on the Iowa, but he's getting kind of blasted by ourselves and our teammate in the battleship right there. So yeah, he's asking for support, but I'm not sure if he's asking me for support. I didn't see who he was asking. Could have been looking for support in general, but if he was asking for me and I come out in the open, I will get obliterated while I'm firing my main guns, and that's not going to work out that well. So check out how low this Iowa is. When we see the Iowa again, he's going to be recovered. His health is going to be recovered by quite a bit. It's going to be astounding how much health that Iowa has, assuming it's the same Iowa. All right, so there's the Lion, 19 kilometers away. He's not within range. Taking one last shot on the Iowa, and then the Gajah-Mada is going to show up right here. He's basically going to come after us. So it's not going to work out too well for him in the end, but here you can see he's right a little bit less than half health. Here we have full health, and it's amazing how they are hitting me, hitting my ship so often, and I just can't seem to get them. Here, I completely misjudged this. He was clearly backing up and not going forward. And yeah, we're at 16,000 health, and we are getting blasted by the battleship behind us, and we barely take out the Gajah-Mada while we still have almost 7,000 health left, and you can see the Iowa is starting to build up his health a little bit. So a couple minutes have gone by, and we are closing up on the Iowa. I think I could pretty much take him out with these torpedoes. He's certainly not going to be able to use any kind of rudders to get out of danger here. He took his one shot, and we have like 30 seconds before he can take another shot, I believe. And the torpedoes are going to get him way before that time. Looks like 4 torpedoes are going to hit, but only 2 register. With a flooding, we're up to 66,000 damage. 99 main gun hits here with the torpedo build, so check that out. Keep that in mind. 17 aircraft shot down, so this is definitely a ship that will knock aircraft out of the sky. And once you start opening up like that, you do get taken out by the opposing ship. So you got to watch it if you're going to try that. Check this out. Team result, second place, third place overall in the game, only 5 points behind the second place team. And we did pretty well. Had we have won the match, would have been a gigantic score, I think. But the Fenyang is pretty decent as far as I could tell here with this torpedo build. So here we are giving the gun build a shot here, and we're taking some pot shots here at the Brandenburg, and we are kind of hoping that he doesn't have massive secondary setup here. But you can see all these shells coming. It kind of looks like that is secondaries from the Brandenburg. But we're hitting the smoke, and we're putting the smoke screen between ourselves and the group, the entire red team pretty much. And we're staying hidden and protected as much as we can. We're using the smoke for that. So yeah, if you want to go out and do anything with the guns, you kind of need the smoke to stay hidden, but you have to rely on your teammates to keep the other ships on the red team spotted, and that looks like that is in fact what is happening. Akizuki was firing a little bit, so yeah, so it is amazing. We've got 2 defendeds here and 5 gun hits. This doesn't look all that great so far, but we do rack up quite a bit of XP by the time the match is over with. And we're just going to sit here in the smoke screen and basically try to farm damage. We are using our armor-piercing shells this time. The last game we used primarily HE because we didn't have any kind of benefits to the armor-piercing shells. And what I've noticed here with the armor-piercing shells with this particular build is you will get a decent amount of damage against battleships. Pretty much you can get decent enough damage if you go broadside against cruisers with certainly the American destroyers and many others. But here we are getting damage with the armor-piercing shells on this Odin right here. So yeah, we did get a torpedo hit and a flood there. I think the damage is racking up from the flood. Looks like the Odin is gone. There's that Charberg. And yeah, we're going to get some pretty good damage on him with the armor-piercing shells. We are staying in the smoke. Let me see. We've only spotted 2 enemy ships. So we're not doing a massive amount of spotting here, but we are getting our main gun shells to hit quite a bit here. We are up to 46. We are going to get a decent amount of main gun hits here. So smoke screen has expired. We got to get out of here. And yeah, as soon as you're visible, the entire team wants to take you out. We are up to 64 main gun hits. So it seems like regardless of whether you're a torpedo build or a gunboat build, you are going to get a decent amount of hits because of the rapid reload regardless. So you will get a little bit of an advantage from the armor-piercing guns with the inspirations and all the setups from the gunboat commander. And yeah, so we are getting a lot of XP from a lot of the defendants here. So we are capturing D. We are trying to at least do some destroyer things here, and we did capture the base. We have 5 defendants, and you can see that is just the red team. It is a Blaxia, a biscuit. And we are going to head over toward C to try to, yeah, there he is right there. So we're going to go over there and see if we can take him out and try to close this out. But basically, there wasn't really much excitement in the gunboat build replay, but I did want to show that regardless of whether you're doing a gunboat build or a torpedo build, you are going to get pretty much the same performance, and it depends on whether you prefer low concealment or high concealment here, whether you want to do a little bit more with the guns. Go with the gunboat build. I know that there are a lot of players that are excellent experts at gunboats on destroyers, and are not so much of an expert with the torpedoes, and you know, I get that. I'm the other way. I would much rather prefer torpedoes rather than the guns. So I guess this replay is showing that either way you go, you can do well with the Fenyang. It is the Pan-Asian Kidd, because the Kidd has only one torpedo rack, and you can't use the torpedoes here on destroyers. So you definitely want to keep that in mind. A lot of times in the heat of battle, everyone gets excited, and you do want to, your instinct is to fire the torpedoes at the opposing ship, regardless of whether you think you can get a hit or not. I may have done it once or twice myself with the deep water torpedoes against the destroyer. It's pretty funny when you see deep water torpedoes coming at you in a close-in match, and I think that's just the other player just getting excited and you know, not realizing that the deep water torpedoes don't do anything to destroyers. But here we are getting a lot of blind hits here, and I think his smoke expired and we basically take the guy out, but we do win the match, and we do quite well on the leaderboard here. So only 45,000 damage. We did get 97 main gun hits, so we did get a few more main gun hits than we did with the torpedo build. Here we ended up in second place, but with 2295 XP. I'm going to say 2300 XP, and I didn't really think I did much in that match, but I guess the 5 defendeds and the captured flag and all the aircraft shot down that we got. I think we got quite a few aircraft shot down again. So if you've got the Fenyang, I think the bottom line is you can do pretty well with either the gun build or the torpedo build. I've gotten what I consider pretty equal results with both commanders. So with that, let me know what you think down below. This is the Jaguar, and I'll see you on the high seas. Thanks for watching. Hit subscribe if you like it.